Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Bold and the Beautiful, couple shakeups, 5 twisted pairs that LOL rock BNB to its core. Hey, Bold and the Beautiful fans. There is almost no romance on the CBS soap right now. We've got Hope Logan, Annika Noel and Liam Spencer Scott Clifton reunited, but we're not really seeing sparks fly. Across the board, there are very few love scenes. So, we want to talk about some new couples that would kick up the drama and bring some sexiness and heat to BNB. We are going to discuss couple shakeups. I think we all know that Bold could be more interesting. Some days it's a little hard to watch. With New Year's just a few weeks away, it's the perfect time for them to kick things up a notch. Let us talk about these 5 twisted pairings that could throw everybody for a loop, cause a little chaos, generate some hotness, and give us a little fun. Let us get into it. The first couple is one that many fans would like to see together. They're a popular topic right now. You've probably guessed it, Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig and Deacon Sharp, Sean Cannon. I know it seems like Bold and the Beautiful is already heading in this direction, but I don't trust Brad Bell. He might tease this and then abruptly drop it. Remember when he brought back Ivy Forrester Ashley Brewer for just a couple of episodes for no reason and made a big deal out of her crush on Liam? He was interested in Ivy too, and then that went nowhere. Then she was gone, and it was so many months later she came back. This was like a year before Liam and Hope ever considered reuniting. So my point is, they tease stuff, get our hopes up, and then they don't deliver. I really hope that Taylor and Deacon manifest soon as a full-fledged couple. Sparks are flying between Taylor and Deacon, and her being his therapist really made their connection more solid, even though it's inappropriate. Taylor keeps daydreaming about Deacon, and he spent his wishbone wish on her at Thanksgiving. Taylor and Deacon have had these close moments and deep conversations, and then they had that embrace in her office. They almost kissed. The chemistry is sizzling, and even though Taylor is trying to keep things professional, Deacon is ready to fight and win her heart. I would love to see them together. I know a ton of fans want to see it, too. Taylor, Rebecca Budig and Deacon are a fresh pairing, and I'm here for it. Of course, Sheila Carter Kimberlin Brown would lose her mind and might target Taylor. But first of all, that's soapy fun. And second, I do think Deacon could eventually talk Sheila down. She would throw a hissy fit, but eventually, I think she would move on from Deacon because she did do him wrong, she did betray him, and she knows that Taylor's not out there preying on other women's men. But then Sheila would need a new romance, right? And that brings us to the second new couple I think could shake things up. I think it would be a fun and wild twist if Bold paired Eric Forrester John McCook with his insane ex-wife, Sheila Carter. Let us be real, Donna Logan Jennifer Garice is all fluff and no substance. So, I'm fine with them backburnering her and putting Eric with someone more interesting. Sheila with Eric would be really dramatic, but they would have to explain why he would ever go down that road again with Sheila. They've been hinting about Eric having some sort of medical crisis again. Maybe it's something that affects his brain and his decision making because let us be real, you'd have to be off your rocker to be with Sheila. But she is a good time, and Eric was into her at one point. Sheila was his wife at one point. So, can you imagine how many heads would explode if Eric John McCook reunited with Psycho Sheila? I honestly think Ridge Forrester Torsten K might have to try to have Eric committed if he got back with her. Of course, Sheila and Eric do have a toxic past because of all of Sheila's criminal antics. If you remember, Eric first dated Sheila Kimberlin Brown back in, I think, 1992. He had split from Brooke Logan Catherine Kelly Lang. Then Sheila found out Brooke was pregnant and didn't want to lose Eric. So she and Mike Guthrie Ken Haynes, remember him, rigged the DNA test to say that Ridge was the father when it was really Eric. This was back when Brooke was pregnant with Bridget Forrester Ashley Jones. Sheila and Eric eventually got married, but then all of Sheila's lies caught up with her, along with the bad deeds she had done when she was in Genoa City over on YNR. So, Eric divorced her, but we also know Sheila is not quite a psycho anymore, and Eric being back with her would be really wild. Alright, the third long-shot couple that would wake me up and get me more excited to watch episodes of Bold and the Beautiful is for them to reunite Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson and Hope. Now, I know Liam is set to marry Hope in December, but Matt Atkinson was back filming as Thomas for Christmas episodes, so he would be around when Hope, Logan and Liam were set to get hitched. I call this a long shot because it looks like Matt Atkinson taped for a week and left. So we're not getting a The P reunion, at least right now. Probably not. But lots of fans would prefer to see Hope with Thomas. So maybe if ratings spike up when he's on around Christmas, maybe Brad Bell will reconsider. People either love Hope with Thomas or hate Hope with Thomas. There's not a lot of in between, but you never know. Hope was set to marry Carter Walton Lawrence St. Victor, and then he took back the ring, and like 5 minutes later, Hope took a ring from Liam. A pile of fans do want Thomas back on Bold and the Beautiful permanently and like the idea of him with Hope. That leads us to the fourth couple. If Hope left Liam for Thomas, that could set the stage for a reunion between Liam and Ivy. Recently, she went and told Liam she wanted to get back what they had years ago. Ivy still loves him. She sees Liam as the one that got away, but he let Ivy down gently. Then Liam told Ivy that he really wanted to be with Hope Logan and was going to try to make that happen. Ivy was very gracious but still heartbroken. So, if Hope wound up with Thomas, Ivy might get a chance to reunite with Liam. They were always a fun couple, a hot couple. I would like to see it. And last but not least, the couple that could be fun is Zend Forrester Dominguez Delonda Metz and Miss Dylan Sidney Bullock. We know that Zend hasn't had a love interest in a hot minute. The closest he came to romance was when he slept with Luna Nozawa Lisa Yamada back when she pretended to be drugged. And that was before Zend Delonda Metz and everybody else found out that she was a total psycho. Luna claimed she slept with Zen thinking he was R.J. Forrester Joshua Hoffman because of Poppy Nozawa's Romy Park magic mints. But Luna later confessed she banged Zen on purpose because she wanted to take him for a ride and see what it was about. He deserves a nice girl. But the cast of characters is so small, there's not enough love interest for everybody. But now we've got Miss Dylan, the cute little art teacher, back around. Maybe Zend should ask her out. She seems nice. And it would be ironic since Zend boinked Luna if Zend also boinked the chick who roadkilled Luna. I think that would be kind of karmic. I would love to see some of these couples happen just to liven things up. If you thought The Bold and the Beautiful had pushed romantic chaos to its limit, think again. Los Angeles is gearing up for a shake-up so seismic even the Forrester Creations runway might crack under the pressure. With loyalties shifting, secrets simmering, and heartbreak lurking in every corner of Beverly Hills, the next wave of pairings could upend the show's entire romantic landscape. These aren't simple love triangles. These are twisted, explosive combinations that could redefine the show's core relationships and leave the characters scrambling to pick up the pieces. Let's dive into 5 wild couple shakeups that could send BNB's world spinning. 1. Bill and Brooke, the forbidden flame ignites again. No matter how many years pass, there's one undeniable fact in this universe: Bill Spencer will always have a deeply complicated, magnetic, almost dangerous connection with Brooke Logan. Ridge may be her destiny on paper, but Bill is the storm she can't outrun. And right now, with Ridge stretched thin between family battles and business chaos, Brooke is once again feeling overlooked. Bill, sensing the opportunity, swoops in with that signature smolder of his. A late-night visit. A heartfelt memory. A brush of the hand that lasts 1 second too long. That's all it would take for old passions to flare up like gasoline on an open flame. A reunion between these two wouldn't just stir drama, it would detonate the Forrester-Spencer rivalry. Ridge would snap. Katie would spiral. Donna would stress bake for 2 weeks straight. The ripple effect would be massive, messy, and absolutely delicious. But the real twist: Brooke might not fight the temptation this time. She's spent too long trying to choose the right man. Bill might be the wrong choice. But he's the one who makes her feel alive. To Ridge and Quinn, revenge, passion, and a very dangerous spark. This one isn't just shocking. It's nuclear. Ridge and Quinn once danced dangerously close to crossing a line that could ve shattered Forrester creations. Their chemistry was undeniable, electric, and utterly inappropriate. While they pulled back before things got too far, the memory of that spark never fully died. Now, with Ridge feeling betrayed, misunderstood, and pushed to his limits by family expectations, he's vulnerable. Quinn, meanwhile, has been drifting in and out of the spotlight, but she remains one of the most emotionally volatile elements on the canvas. Whenever Quinn feels ignored or underestimated, she seeks power in the most explosive ways possible. Imagine Ridge and Quinn reconnecting under the guise of closure. Imagine a quiet moment turning into a dangerous confession. Imagine passion roaring back to life at the exact wrong time. Their pairing would be nothing short of catastrophic. Carter would be gutted. Eric's legacy would tremble. The Logan sisters wouldn't know whether to faint or riot. But for the audience it would be jaw-dropping television. 3. Liam and Steffi. Again the cycle takes a dark new turn. Just when Hope and Finn breathe easier, thinking their relationships have stabilized, the universe laughs. Because Liam and Steffi, those two gravity-locked souls, always find their way back to orbiting each other. This time, the twist wouldn't be a romance of nostalgia, but of emotional damage. Steffi, reeling from family stress and feeling disconnected from Finn's unwavering perfection, might fall into a moment of weakness. Liam, always torn between wanting to be the hero and feeling unwanted, might find himself drowning in his own need to feel needed. One bad night. One vulnerable conversation. One familiar spark. And suddenly the entire canvas erupts. Hope would unravel. Finn's faith would shatter. Ridge and Taylor would snap right back into protector mode. And Liam, well, Liam would once again realize he's destroyed two families with a single impulsive choice. The difference this time: the show could push the fallout further than ever, with no easy reunion or we'll work through this. The consequences would be real, and they would redefine every character involved. For Thomas and Paris, beauty meets obsession. Paris Buckingham has drifted through romantic storylines without a true anchor, but she's always had one recurring trait: she falls hard and fast for complicated men. Enter Thomas. Thomas has been working relentlessly to prove he's changed, and for the most part, he's succeeded, but that doesn't mean he's immune to temptation. Paris, sweet yet unpredictable, might be the one person willing to see the good in him without reservation. She might also be the one person he could inadvertently pull into emotional chaos. Their connection could start innocently, a work project, confidence-boosting conversations, stolen glances. But obsession is Thomas's Achilles heel, and Paris might not recognize the warning signs until it's too late. This pairing could trigger ripple effects across the entire canvas. Zend wouldn't take it well. Hope would be thrown off balance. And Ridge would start worrying that his son is slipping back into dangerous patterns. Paris and Thomas together would be captivating, and perilous. 5. Finn and Hope, the good souls who finally break bad. Hope Logan and John Finn Finnegan have always been framed as the moral centers of their respective relationships. The stable ones. The rational ones. The good ones. Which is exactly why pairing them would be such a brilliantly twisted shake-up. Both are exhausted by the same emotional cycle. Both are tired of being betrayed, overlooked, or taken for granted. And both have shared many deeply empathetic conversations that could very naturally evolve into something more. A forbidden, soft, slow-burn romance between Hope and Finn would fracture the show's entire romantic foundation. Steffi would be livid. Liam would lose his mind. Ridge would implode. Brooke would be stunned. And Sheila would find this plot twist absolutely delicious. Finn and Hope together would be the kind of seismic shift B&B hasn't attempted in years, pairing two good characters in a way that forces them to question everything they stand for. The bottom line, Los Angeles is about to explode. With these 5 twisted pairings simmering beneath the surface, The Bold and the Beautiful is poised for one of its most chaotic seasons ever. The show thrives on forbidden passion, shattered trust, and impossible love stories, and these shake-ups hit every note. The question isn't whether B&B will push boundaries. It's which couple will strike the match first and which relationships will burn to the ground when the fire catches. One thing's certain, the canvas is about to be rocked to its core. The Bold and the Beautiful Thursday, December 4th recap, Ridge devastates Eric, Deacon gets dirty with Taylor. The Bold and the Beautiful B&B recap for Thursday, December 4th, reveals that Ridge Forrester Torsten K devastated Eric Forrester John McCook while Deacon Sharp Sean Cannon got dirty with Taylor Hayes Rebecca Budig. At Il Giardino, Deke Sharp Harrison Cohn gave Deacon and Sheila Sharp Kimberlyn Brown news on how things were going at Hope for the future. Once Deacon headed off for a therapy session, Deke tried to head for the exit, too. Sheila stopped Deke since she wanted to get better acquainted and let Deke see the new version of herself. Deke clearly had reservations, but Sheila hoped to show off a united family at Hope Logan's Annika Noel upcoming wedding. In her office, Taylor prepared to dig into Deacon's mind and feelings again, so Deacon jokingly said, "Let's get dirty." Deacon recapped his Thanksgiving with Sheila and eventually shared his concerns over his kids not accepting her. In fact, Deacon couldn't even be certain that Sheila would get an invitation to Hope and Liam Spencer's Scott Clifton wedding. At Forrester Creations on Thursday's B&B episode, Eric insisted he wanted to be a design team with his son, but Ridge acted like they'd already accomplished that. Ridge warned that Eric didn't want to get back in the trenches and risk his health, especially when he already had a wonderful final couture collection. Eric protested, but Ridge stood his ground and said the work was covered. Since Eric previously asked Ridge to take over the company, he assured his father that he had it under control. Once Ridge got called away, he gave Eric a kiss on the cheek and sauntered out. Eric was left alone in the CEO office, where he gazed at an old pic of himself with Stephanie Forrester's Susan Flannery. Eric mulled over whether it was time to leave the company he founded, but that definitely wasn't what he wanted. In the Forrester showroom, Brooke Logan Forrester Catherine Kelly Lang suggested to Donna Logan Forrester Jennifer Garise that whatever happened was between Eric and Ridge. Brooke also pointed out that Donna enjoyed spending extra time with Eric and taking trips together. Donna acknowledged that was true, but she also knew Eric would be a designer until his dying day. Ridge met up with Brooke later and gave her updates on what went down with Eric. Since Eric already had a swan song and needed to protect his health, Ridge was adamant that his dad needed to retire. The Thursday, December 4th episode of The Bold and the Beautiful cracked the Forrester world down the middle, exposing long-buried resentments, hidden desires, and the kind of betrayals that erupt only when emotions have been simmering for too long. The day began with quiet tension and ended with a blow that left Eric Forrester shaken to his core. Meanwhile, across town, a different kind of spark ignited between Taylor Hayes and Deacon Sharp, one dangerous enough to disrupt more than one family. It opened at Forrester Creations, where Ridge stood in his office staring at the latest numbers from the preview collection. The success of his designs was undeniable, but there was something colder, heavier in his expression. He wasn't thinking about sales. He was thinking about his father. Every sketch, every stitch in this lineup felt like another widening gulf between the legacy he believed in and the man who had built it. When Eric entered, Ridge tried for civility, but the tension between them became visible in the air. Eric arrived hopeful, even confident. Though his health had been the subject of whispers, he was determined to show Ridge he was not stepping aside. He placed his latest sketches on the desk, a gesture meant to ignite creativity, not conflict. Instead, it lit the fuse. Ridge skimmed the papers, his jaw tightening. He saw talent, yes, but also fragility, lines that shook, concepts that felt messy and unfocused. Instead of approaching the issue gently, Ridge allowed months of frustration to spill over. He told Eric the designs needed drastic revisions, that the fashion world was moving faster than ever, and that Forrester Creations couldn't afford to be nostalgic. Eric countered with prideful fire, insisting he was still more than capable of leading. Ridge's voice sharpened. Eric's rose in defiance. It was the moment Ridge said the words that silenced the room, "Dad, it's time to face it. You can't helm a collection anymore." The blow hit harder because it was spoken without hesitation, without softness. Eric stared at his son, disbelieving, wounded. He expected disagreement, but not dismissal. Not like this. Not from Ridge. Eric's heart shifted quickly into fury. He accused Ridge of waiting for the opportunity to push him out, of turning the company into his personal empire. Ridge argued he was protecting the business, the brand, and everyone who depended on it. But Eric heard only one thing: his son had decided he was obsolete. Their argument escalated until Eric's voice cracked with emotion. Ridge tried to steady himself, but the damage was done. Eric grabbed his sketches, turned toward the door with shaking hands, and told Ridge he had never felt more betrayed. Ridge watched him leave, torn between righteousness and regret, but unwilling to call him back.